At this point in time, I'm just really not even sure. Because Rosie's got a mental disability, and now we're granted the referral for the psych evaluation, and they've got what they want. I keep trying to ask Rosie to say how she feels, but she gets so emotionally wound up, she just starts sputtering and chasing her tail. And when I try to help her through any of it, I'm being accused of controlling her. It's been from day one, people. I've had times where I've been locked out of the hospital being accused that I'm a human trafficker. You know how that feels when you're trying to enjoy a moment that means something. One of your babies being born into this world. For anybody who's a father knows how much that matters. To have them force you out of the hospital and say your wife isn't even there when you know she's there, and outright have the cops show up and intimidate you being accused of a human trafficker. Back in the beginning, yeah, I was an asshole. I was mean. I'd get drunk, we'd fight. But that's one instant I didn't even want to argue no more. I come home after putting 12 hours of milk and cows, and there's no food made. I don't even want to argue. I'm just going to bed hungry. Went and laid down in bed. By the third time of me just not answering her, she kept coming in. You're not going to talk to me about the third time. I got creamed in the side with a full can of soda. This is the stuff I've dealt with for 13 years, doing everything I can to accommodate and do what needs to be done for a disability. And at the end of the day, I'm the bad guy because I love my wife. They showed up with 2 armed officers and forced her in the back of a car through intimidation. There's her and 2 other adult witnesses. The body cam footage is in the mail. I've already got my notification. They have 10 business days to have it to me through the state trooper outpost. So, and with me waiving my right to a trial, it's a bench trial now, so Judge Trice, it's on him. The decision he makes when it goes before the Supreme Court, and they ask him why he didn't evaluate all the evidence for what it is and allow innocent people to be found guilty and their rights to be violated on his watch. We'll see. At the end of the day, any judge is willing to allow this to go by. A judge threw out a warrant for the seizure of our children. The only person who was present that had medical training, the MMR, gave our children a clean bill of health. But they won't. Witnesses that Rosie, they got it in black and white documentation. I outright said no, and Rosie said no to the transport to Covenant due to the biased opinion. The mandated reporters, the social workers and everything in the hospitals, because we've dealt with them before. They've locked me out of the hospital trying to accuse me of being a human trafficker of my wife. Like, I'm so fed up with it. I tried giving the phone to Rosie and got out of the truck and let her talk, and she's just spitting and sputtering and stuttering and chasing her tail. She's so upset right now. I'm giving her a minute to calm down and see if she can redo it again and actually take a breath so she's a little more understandable. So she's trying to calm down for a minute after getting the news that he's granting them the rights to violate her rights even more. Because we honestly, truly feel at the end of the day, they're going to find her mentally incompetent and try to strip her away and flip her against me. Because I'm the man, they're going to steal my children, they're going to steal my wife, and they're going to come at me full bore because I so much has tried to practice my rights. And I got it on camera, 4th, 5th, and 6% probable cause, you're trespassing, leave now. And even after they seen the children, they still did a search and seizure, ran my name through lien, and found that I had a warrant, which was a violation of my right. They were already told they didn't have the right to search, but they still searched. So, yeah. Our country is an outright disgusting disgrace when it comes to the innocent until proven guilty. No, They falsified evidence. They showed up and threw us in cuffs and locked us away in jail because we tried to practice our rights. As soon as I got out, I immediately got on the ball, contacting the prosecuting attorney, the foster service, CPS, to find out what the heck really happened. And they showed up, threw me in cuffs, and Rosie both, willingly and knowingly, because they just wanted to silence our voice, and they're going to keep doing it. Now they're going to take Rosie away. And I honestly believe that they're going to try to prove her mentally incompetent. It's already preset and determined. They don't have no... Just like Ogama County, somebody called the CPS or called the state troopers on us, and they couldn't guarantee that it was a juror, that it wasn't a jury member. But they still allowed that trial to go through. That's botched as far as I'm concerned. But you know what? They're just going to keep on doing it. Because everybody lets the fear-mongering take hold. Everybody's willing to be bliss and ignorance and hand away everything because they're fearful that they might lose. You're losing everything, people. They're taking everything that we actually had to stand on in this country, and they're just taking it from us. Well, everyone sits back and just hands it to them because they're afraid. Stand up, people. We need to start standing up. We the people. This is an outrage. Judge threw out a warrant. Clean bill of health for our babies. Showed up with 2 state troopers when I was on documentation saying no, no, no to that transport. And still forced her in with 2 armed officers with coercion, made her fear for her well-being. Here we are still. So you explain to me how any of this is even right. Where's our rights? Meanwhile, there was a court order put in place to protect our human rights, our parental rights, through the foster facility the DHHS is leaving our children in. And our rights repeatedly keep getting violated time and time and time again. That court order has been straight crapped on and violated so many times, there's no counting it. My attorney won't file no emergency hearing to be able to ensure the wrong is written right. But we're being represented. Rosie's repeatedly told the attorneys that they showed up, forced her in the car, and every single one of the attorneys wants her to just go and have mental capacity tested. Because at the end of the day, they're going to, so I'm frustrated. They willingly and knowingly kidnapped her to falsify claims, and the lawyers know this, but they refuse to touch it because if they present any evidence to the court of that violation, then the court's at fault. None of the attorneys are willing to go against the court. Because at the end of the day, if they go against the court, their meal ticket's gone. They don't get no more. They can try to prove your innocence, but they're not going to file for the FOIAs. They're not going to get none of the evidence which needs to be gotten like a real lawyer will do. Cracker Jack box lawyers. All worried about a check instead of people's rights. That's what's wrong with today. The doctors are told to treat the symptom and not the problem. The lawyers are told to stand there silent, so you say legally represented when you're not. The teachers refuse to teach the children the actual education that needs to be taught. Financials, life skills, actual history, all that stuff. But it's because they all want us to be dumb. They want us to be lied to. They want us to be ignorant. And to be told ignorance is bliss. It's not. To have knowledge that does deem a bit of responsibility that you have to handle, but in the long run, it's a lot more better to be knowledgeable about what it is you're having an issue with. But I gotta get out here. I see a chicken running around the house.